Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is put in our partition walls on the inside. And so to do that, we're going to go to our top of slab floor plan. You're going to see there are two types of walls. There's a 2x6 wall, which is a 2x6 stud with 1/2 inch gypboard on either side, and then there's a 2x4 wall. What we're going to do is we're going to put all these walls in. We're going to take them all the way up to the top of plate, which we may have to change later, but that's what we're going to start with. And my suggestion is that you draw in all of the walls and then go back and adjust them afterwards. Like, don't be accurate in the beginning, just put them in where as close as you can get them, and then go back and adjust them later. So I'm going to go to architecture, wall architectural, go to my pull down and see in the interior walls what I have. Now I have a 4.5 inch partition, so I'm going to go to that, go to edit type, edit the structure, and we have gypboard, and a wood stud layer. Perfect, that's what we want. So I'm just going to click OK here, and then I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to create a 6.5 inch partition for our water walls. That's generally what they're used for plumbing walls. And that's what they're used for in this particular project, I believe. And so I'm just going to go in here after I duplicate and change that to a 2x6 stud instead of a 2x4 stud. Click OK, click OK. Now I'm going to come over here and flip back to my 4.5 inch partition. And I'm going to come in and probably change my location line to finish face exterior, just so I'm working on the face. And notice that the dimension reference exterior face of OSB at exterior walls and interior finish face at interior walls. So that's how I'm going to sort of justify where everything is going, figure that out. But first thing I'm going to do is just draw some walls in. So first thing, my base constraint is top of slab, and my top constraint is going to be top of plate for now. And I'm going to come in and just start placing walls, right? So I'll place one here, escape a couple of times, place one here because I know those line up, right? You can hit the space bar to flip the justification of the walls like we talked about earlier. And then I'm just going to go in, and I'm not going to be, super accurate. I'm just going to draw in where the walls ought to be, and we'll do an example up here in this bathroom of how I would suggest you work, which is pretty quickly, not really getting everything exact in the beginning and perfect, but kind of putting it in. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to dimension to actually get the location of these walls. So this 11-foot dimension is going to go from the OSB to the face of the interior wall. So I'll just go to my annotate tab, go to align dimension, pick the grid line, which is on the OSB right there, and then pick the face of this wall. Notice that my wall face, right, is selected as the selection set. And then I'm just going to come out, drag my dimension out here, and click on nothing. I don't want it to be in here. It gets a little confusing. I'm just going to pull it further out. Stop the dimension command with a modify, pick that wall, and change that to 11, right? So now that wall is set in the correct place. Now I can go to annotate, aligned, and I can pick the face of this wall. If I hit the tab key, get close enough, it won't go to the interior face. Let's see if I turn on medium, it might. There it is. So I can get that OSB, right? Because there's three faces right there. There's the face of the gypboard, the OSB, and then the polyiso. So I want this one right there, and then I want the face of that wall. And then I click on nothing, and then I pick the wall, and it allows me to change the dimension, right? And then, I could come in and do another annotate here, right, from there to there, right, and that should be 7 feet. You can see the dimensions there. Just click on nothing, and then I should be able to pick this and set it to 7 feet. Notice that I am going directly through all of the walls and windows. You want to do that. We'll actually put in walls and windows, and it will cut holes for us. So the last one I'll do is, this one doesn't have a dimension, but I'm just going to dimension from the inside face of this to the inside face of that. And Let's pick this guy and maybe make it 5 feet, see what we get. Right, so probably 5'1" for tile or backer board, and that's pretty close. You can always be a little attentive to making sure that there's like at least 3 feet in here, which there is, so that's great. And then that's about it. You just want to go in and start placing all of these walls in and getting them in the right place. All right.